Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Caden Cleveland here with the Oklahoma Senate, and you're joining us for another episode of OK Senate on Deck. Now, guys, this is a really special edition here because this is the first episode that we are doing, one, without Senator Treat. Senator Treat he's in the craziness of session, he's getting pulled in a million different ways, and this week we are going to be joined with a special guest for the first time on the podcast here, Senator Bill Coleman.
Well, thank you, Caden. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And just to kind of dive right in, Senator, and kind of just getting to know you just a little bit better. Now, you're a first-year senator. This is your first year here at the Capitol. Give us a little bit of background on what your professional expertise is, what exactly it is that you're bringing here to the Senate.
Okay. Caden, I'm a lifelong broadcaster here in the state of Oklahoma. I've been in the business for over 45 years now, second generation, and I got into broadcasting. You know, my father got me into it, and then he sold a radio station in Pocket City that he built, and I helped build, and I went along with the inventory and stayed around the radio station for a while, and then left to Texas. But then I had an opportunity to go back to Pocket City to become part owner of the radio station, and from there I became full owner and added on 6 other radio stations.
Holy cow!
So it is kind of an interesting story of the hometown boy comes home, and Pocket City is certainly my hometown.
Love that.
And then on the political side, I started getting involved with the National Association of Broadcasters in Washington, D.C. I was on the board of directors for the NAB for 6 years, which is a term limit, which we do have term limits in Washington, just not in the right organizations, perhaps. Some would think that. So after I got that 6 years done, I started looking at how things were going in Oklahoma, and they really were not moving forward. And I started recruiting some people in my area because we knew that the Senate seat could be becoming open because Senator Fields was going to run for lieutenant governor.
Right.
And I failed at recruiting people, failed miserably. And decided, what the heck, I'll do it myself.
That is awesome. So initially, you wanted to get somebody else into this seat, into the campaign, but then it just kind of fell into the right situation where you ended up running yourself.
I talked to a lot of people smarter than me, evidently, who turned down that offer, and then it turned out to be me to be the candidate.
Man, that is awesome.
And I'm happy to be here, Caden. I'm just exciting to see all the things that are going on here at the Capitol. The friendliness of everybody inside this building. I mean, good morning, Senator. Good morning. How are you doing? Have a great afternoon.
Right.
And I mean, we're also very friendly in here, even behind closed
Right.
doors.
Right. Exactly.
So I was surprised at that, but the energy in this building, the pace of getting things done has just been is something I did not expect. People ask me, well, was it what you expected? No, it's a lot more. The pace, the constant, how about this? How about this? How about this? How about that? I mean, it's coming at you all day when you're in this building from all different directions. And I didn't really anticipate that.
Yep. One of the biggest, I guess, misnomers about being a senator or being a legislator just in general, I would say, is the whole conversation that people have. Well, that's just a part-time gig. Now, it is true that we're in session from February till May, but man, there's constantly people coming and talk to you about different ideas. You're constantly prepping for more legislation to be run. Can you kind of comment on that and kind of has that been as expected, or you kind of tell us?
No, it's more than I expected. Much more than I expected. People coming at you from all different directions. You know, just making it onto the Senate floor. When you go out through the area, I call the mosh pit. It's where a lot of people are waiting to talk to the senators about their causes and their bills and everything. But just leaving your office and trying to work your way through there to get to your desk at the Senate is certainly a challenge. And then once you sit down at your desk, then you start getting the pink slips to go back out into the pit because somebody wants to talk to you about something.
So just so if somebody doesn't know what a pink slip is when you're on the Senate floor, somebody can send in a message to you on a pink slip asking to talk to you or give you information or something like that. Is that correct?
The pink slip says that somebody is outside in the waiting area. It will say their name and that they want to see you. So you get a few pink slips while you're in on the session floor.
Just a few, right?
Just a few pink slips, and you know it's just like the other pink slip. It's not always that good.
Right. No, I completely understand that. Well, that's one, just your background is extremely unique. I don't think we have anybody else here in the Senate who has the same, even close to the same background as in radio and in broadcasting like you do. Do you know of anybody like
I
that?
don't know of anybody in the Senate.
Hmm.
We have the pro tem of the House, Harold Wright, across the
Hmm.
rotunda in the House of Representatives. He's been a broadcaster longer than I have.
Really? I didn't
Sorry
know
about
that.
that, Harold. So, yeah, Speaker pro tem at the House, Harold Wright, longtime broadcaster out in western Oklahoma.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, to kind of, I guess, move on into a legislative topic to get your thoughts on something that's going on here at the Capitol building. Um, Criminal justice reform has
Hmm.
been one of the hot topics of this legislative session and also the few years before you were actually here. But you've been a part of moving this criminal justice reform measures forward. Can you kind of give us a little information on that and what you've been working on there?
I agreed to carry a bill that was SB
Hmm.
287, and there was a companion bill in the House that would do the same thing. And what we were looking at doing, Hayden, and it's well alive, and it should pass, is to reduce subsequent and second offense term lengths.
Hmm.
Right now in Oklahoma, if you did a 10-year sentence for a nonviolent crime, say auto burglary,
Right.
and your original sentence was 10 years, if you did it again, you could get a 20-year sentence
Wow.
or 100% of the original sentence. What House Bill 2009 will do, it'll reduce that from 100% down to 25%. So if you steal a car, you
Right.
get 10 years, you do it again, then you get 12.5 years. And the reasoning behind it, Caden, in some areas of criminal sentencing, we're way ahead in the nation.
Hmm.
I know in our length of sentencing on car burglaries is like 110% more than the national average.
Really?
That is a big, big
That's a
number.
very big number.
And some of these lengths of sentences leads to incarceration
Mhm.
rates, which Oklahoma is number one in incarceration rates
Right.
right now.
Right.
It's estimated House Bill 2009, should it be put into law, it's going to reduce the incarceration rates up to 17% in
Wow.
10 years. And we're looking at nonviolent offenses,
Hmm.
and also hopefully the savings the state will realize from less incarceration can be moved into more
Wow.
treatment programs.
Right.
Because as you know, most of the people we incarcerate, I think some people will tell you as much as 65, 70% are either have mental health issues or abuse issues
Wow.
of alcohol or drugs. So
Wow.
let's get those people some needed help instead of just locking them up.
That's right. So that's been one of the main topics of discussion this session and previous sessions has been criminal justice reform. There are a number of Senate bills and House bills that are working to really continue the fight of criminal justice reform for our state, because that is probably, if not the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems in our state that we're facing right now. Would you kind of agree with that?
I would agree with that. The incarceration rates, the cost of keeping the many inmates that we have
Yeah.
is certainly tough. And the fact that we really can just lock people up now.
Hmm.
We can't give them any other help because we have to spend all our money
Right.
on all those beds in the Department of Corrections, and we can't spend it on anything else.
One of the things that Pro Tem Treat has mentioned quite a few times in the topic of criminal justice reform is the need not only to reduce the sentencing and do things like that, but also to invest in programs to help these individuals out, to decrease the recidivism rate of these people possibly getting into trouble again and going back into the system. So implementing more programs to help these individuals out.
I've seen it in my district at Dick Connor
Hmm.
Correctional and Hominy.
Yeah.
The things they are doing over there with their work programs,
Yes.
teaching inmates skills that they can't find
Yes.
anywhere else, and teaching them a good work ethic while they're incarcerated. And hopefully they'll come out, use those skills, and use that work ethic,
Yep.
and not go back into the correction system.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Well, Senator, we're about out of time here, but first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us this week on Deck and just telling us a little bit about your background. And before we sign off, do you have anything last sign-off words or anything like that?
I'm still very excited about what we
Mhm.
can get done in the legislature, and I'm excited we have a new governor that's energetic
Yes.
as well. The energy in this building, the veterans are even just amazed at what energy is going on right now.
It really is amazing, and it's great timing on your part to be entering right at the right time, because it really is. It's hard to put into words the difference in energy and optimism that is within this building right now. That there just has been less of over the past few years. So both budgetary, legislatively, policy, even. I mean, there's just so much going right for the state of Oklahoma right now.
We are
So
moving. That's why I came down here. We
yeah.
weren't moving, and now we've got movement going, and it's a forward movement.
Wow, I love that. That's a great final word there. But, well, guys, that's about it for us this week. Just want to thank you for joining us and listening. I hope you've been able to learn a little bit about Senator Coleman, his background, and the expertise that he's bringing here to the Senate. And we also talked a little bit about criminal justice reform. So that's going to be something that we're going to continue talking about. Not a one and done thing at all. So, but if you do have interest in any further questions, you can email us here at the podcast. It's at ondeck@oksenate.gov, or you can watch any of our other podcasts, videos, articles, look at our graphics at protem.oksenate.gov. That's just kind of a database for both people within the Capitol and outside the Capitol, just giving them information on what is going on here at the Capitol and within the Senate. So, Senator, anything else?
I'm good to go. I'm ready to go home, Caden.
Let's go, man. Hey, we'll let you get on the road. And Senator, thank you again for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And guys, thank you all, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.